Hello guys, welcome back to my After Effects tutorial channel. This is Randy from Rhandz Graphix, and without any further ado, let's right away start. As usual, I'm gonna go and create a new composition and I will name it placeholder 1. 3840 by 2160, which is 4K, 30 frames per second, 7 seconds duration. Click OK. I will open my project assets, go to image, and I will drop down this photo to the timeline. I will press S on my keyboard and Shift P for the position. Scale this image down. Move it down a bit. Then I will go to composition and create another composition. I will name it frame 1. 3840 by 2160 and click OK. Open the other elements folder, highlight this frame PNG, drop it down to the timeline. So I will go to composition, create a new composition. I will name it media 1. 3840 by 2160, 30 frames per second and 7 seconds duration. Click OK. Drop down this frame 1 into the timeline and also the placeholder 1. Go to layer, create a new solid, and I will name it background or BG. Make comp size, click OK. Then I will just drop it down just below the placeholder 1 and then enable the 3D layers in here. Then I will go to effects and preset. I will just add gradient ramp. I will press the swap colors in here, then change this color to 45, 45, 45, and I will click OK. Then I will highlight this placeholder 1, go to effects and preset. I will add cartoon effect on it. I will change the detail radius to 10, detail threshold is 0, shading steps is 15, shading smoothness is 0. Then go to edge and change the width here to 4.5. Then I will go again to effects and preset, add color correction 10. Change the map black to 45, 45, 45. And I will click OK. We'll go back to my background. I will change the ramp shape here to radial ramp. Then I will open the project panel again. Open this assets folder. Go to footage and I will drop down this brush 1 into the timeline just above the placeholder. Then press S on your keyboard for the scale. I will just scale this up just to cover my canvas. Then I will right click my mouse and pre-compose it. I will name it brush 01. Move all the attributes into the new composition. Click OK. I will enable the 3D layer here. I will highlight this placeholder 1 and toggle switches modes in here. I will change the track matte here to Luma matte. Change the one view to 2 view horizontal. Move this placeholder 1 just here. And also I will highlight the PG. I will move it on the Z position at the backmost. Then I will press S on my keyboard for the scale. I will just scale it up. I will highlight this placeholder and I will also press S on my keyboard and I will scale it up. Change the 2 views to 1 view. Highlight this brush 01. Move your playhead to about 4 seconds and 2 frames. Then press your keyboard close bracket key to move that layer. Then I will highlight both compositions. Press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it. Rename this placeholder 1. I will just add letter A on it. I will go to my effects control and delete these effects. Then I will highlight this placeholder 1. Press Ctrl D to duplicate it. Go to my project panel, open this assets folder, go to footage, and I will drop down this brush 2 into the timeline. Press S on my keyboard for the scale. I will just scale it up. Then I will change this placeholder 1A2 to new track matte for now. Then I will right click my mouse and pre-compose this brush 02. I will name it brush 02. Move all the attributes into the new composition. Click OK. Highlight this placeholder 1. Then press your keyboard open bracket key to move that layer. Then I will highlight this brush 1. Move my play to about 1 second and 8 frames. And press open bracket key to move that layer. Highlight this brush 2 and move my play to about 1 second and 15 frames. And press open bracket key to move that layer. Placeholder 1A2. I will change the track matte here now to Luma matte. Then I will highlight these two compositions and click my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it. I will highlight the placeholder 3. I will change the blending mode here to overlay. Then go to effects and preset, color correction, and add levels. I will change the input white here to 298.3. I will highlight the placeholder 3 and go to my shape tool and change this to ellipse tool. Then I will double click my mouse to create a mask. Open the mask and change the amount feather here to 177. The mask expansion, change this to -148. So I will go to composition, create a new composition. I will name it scene 1. 3840 by 2160 and click OK. I will go to my project panel and drop down this media 1 into the timeline. Then I will open the other elements. I will drop down this brush 4 into my timeline. I will right away pre-compose it and rename it as brush_04. Move all the attributes into the new composition and click OK. Go to effects and preset, add fill on it. Then I will change the color here, type D8, D8, D8 and click OK. I will press P for the position, Shift R for the rotation. I'll just drag it on the left side and rotate it like this. Toggle switches modes in here and enable the 3D layer, including the media 1, and also enable the motion blur in media 1. Then go open your project panel, highlight these elements and drop it down to my timeline. Effects and preset, go to generate fill. I will also change the color here to D8, D8, D8. Click OK. Press P on my keyboard for the position and Shift S for the scale. I will randomly position these elements. Highlight these elements and right click your mouse to pre-compose it, and I will rename it letter elements. Move all the attributes to the new composition and click OK. Then I will enable the 3D layer here to press T on my keyboard for the opacity. I will make the opacity here to be 50%. Go open your project panel, open the footage and drop down this particle into your timeline. Right click your mouse, pre-compose it, name it particle. Move all the attributes into the new composition and I will click OK. Toggle switches modes in here. Change the blending mode to add toggle switches mode in here and enable the 3D layer. And now I will grab my text tool and type significant memory slideshow. I want the size to be 185 and the height of the letters is 120. I will highlight this text again and change the font here to Nicole script. Then I will move this text here just like that and then grab my text tool again and I will type slideshow. This time I'm using Aileron font, regular, and the size I will change this to 48 and the distance in between letters I will change this to 200. Then I will move this text on this side. Go to effects and preset. Move your playhead to the beginning of the timeline and search for smooth move in. and then apply it to this text. And this one on the slideshow, just move your playhead on the 1 second duration, press open bracket key, press T on your keyboard for the opacity, make a keyframe and change the opacity to 0. And then move to 2 seconds duration, change this opacity to 100%. Then highlight these two text, right click your mouse and pre-compose it. I will name it text. Then move all the attributes into the new composition and I will click OK. I will again enable the 3D layer in here, go to layer and create a camera. I will use 50mm preset camera, click OK. And then I will go back to layer and I will make a null object. I want the null object a 3D layer, parent this camera to the null object. Press P on your keyboard for the position and Shift R for the rotation. Make sure that your blade is at 1 second duration and make a keyframe on the position and move back your blade at the beginning of your timeline and change the Z position to 5057. Create a keyframe on the Z rotation and change the value here to 13. Then move your playhead to about 2 seconds. Change this value to 0. Then I will highlight these keyframes. Press F9 to ease it. Edit the speed graph. I want the speed graph like this. I will go back to media 1. I will just disable this PG because this is temporary. So I will go to scene 1, go to layer, create a new solid. I want it named background or BG. Make comp size, the color is white, click OK. I will drag this down at the bottom. Go to effects and preset, generate and add radial ramp. Press swap the colors, change the end color to 45, 45, 45. Then click OK and also change the ramp shape here to radial ramp. I will change the view here to views horizontal and I will highlight this media 1. I will probably just move it away from the camera. Highlight this brush 4 and I will drag it just the back of the placeholder so it will not be at the front. Again, go back to one view. Now I will go to my project panel, close this footage as its folder. I will create a new folder. I will name it scene 01. And then I will highlight these compositions and drag it on that scene 1 folder. Also the scene 1 and this text, and I will again create a new folder and I will name it scene 02. Then I will go to composition and create a new composition. I will name it placeholder 2. I will change the resolution to 2160 by 2840. Same 30 frames per second and 7 seconds duration. Click OK. I will open the folder assets, open the image folder and I will drop down this image to the timeline. Press this on my keyboard for the scale and Shift P for the position. I will just scale it down like that and move it down a bit. Go to composition and create a new composition. I will name it frame 2. 2860 by 2840. Click OK. Open my other elements. Drop this frame PNG to the timeline. Press R for the rotation. Shift S for the scale. I will just rotate it to about 90 degrees. And the scale, I will change this to 80%. I think that should be good enough. Go again to composition and create a new composition. And this time I will name it framed image. 2160 by 2840. Click OK. Then I will go to my project panel and drop down this frame 2 to the timeline and also the placeholder 2. I will highlight this placeholder 2. Go to effects and preset. Go to stylize cartoon. Again, I will change the data radius here to 10. The threshold 0. and shading steps 15, shading smoothness 0. The width is 4.5. Then I will go again to effects and preset and add color correction. Then I will change the map black to 45, 45, 45. And click OK. Go back and open project panel. Open the other elements. Drop this image down to the timeline. I will right click my mouse and pre-compose it. I will name it brush 1 PNG. Move all the attributes into the new composition. Click OK. Change the track matte here to Luma Matte. Highlight this placeholder 2. Press your keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it. Change this for now no track matte. Go to footage folder and drop down this brush 4 into your timeline. Move your playhead so you can see, probably at the end of the timeline. Then press S on your keyboard for the scale. Disable the proportion here. Probably just extend it a bit here. I think that should be good enough. Right click your mouse and recompose it. I will name it brush 4. Move all the attributes into the new composition and click OK. Now change the track matte here already to Luma Matte. Highlight this placeholder 2 and rename it. Just add A on it. Highlight these two compositions. Press Ctrl D on your keyboard to duplicate it. This time we will change this placeholder to A2. Change the blending mode to overlay. When we scrub our playhead, this is what we got. I will go to effects and preset. Go to color correction. I will just add levels on it. Then delete these effects here and change the input white to about 298.3. Also highlight this placeholder 2A and delete these effects. I will close this footage and I will highlight this frame image and go to edit, duplicate it, and I will double click my mouse to open it up. Highlight this brush 4, right click my mouse, enable time remapping. Exchange these keyframes here. And also highlight this above brush 4, right click my mouse and enable time remapping. Exchange the keyframes here. So as you can see, it will begin at the bottom to top. So now I will go to composition and I will create a new composition. And this time I will change the width here to 3840, which is 4K by 2160. And I will name it media 2. Then I will click OK. Right away I will go to the frame image, drop it down to the timeline, and also the frame image 2. I will drop it down to my timeline and then I will highlight both of them. I will press S and Shift P for the position. I will just drag the other one on the right side. And the other image I will just drag it on the left side. Scale it down a bit. Shift R for the rotation. Rotate it a bit, just like that. The other one I will just scale it down a bit. Adjust the position of the image if necessary. Now I will go to composition and create a new composition. I will name it scene 2. Same resolution, 3840 by 2160, 30 frames per second and 7 seconds duration. Click OK. I will drop down my media 2. Go to layer, create a solid, and I will name it PG or background. Make comp size, the color is white. Click OK. Drag it down below the media 2. Go to effects and preset, generate, add gradient ramp. I will change the ramp shape here to radial ramp. Then swap the colors. Change the color here to 45, 45, 45. Then click OK. Grab the text tool and type a unique design. Then I will change the font size to about 60, and the font I'm gonna be using is the Myriad Pro. Change the spacing in between letters here to 750. Go to align and align it horizontally and move it down. Right click your mouse and pre-compose it. I will animate text too. Move all the attributes into the new composition, click OK. Highlight the text too and double click your mouse to open it up. Then highlight this text and go to effects and preset. Apply this effect to the text layer and make sure that your play is at the beginning of your timeline. Okay, so I will open again scene 2. There you go. I'll probably go back to my frame 2 and highlight it. Go to generate fill. I will change the color here to D8, D8, D8. Okay. I will also go back to the frame 1 and add fill on it. Then I will change this to D8, D8, D8. Okay. Now go to your project panel, open the assets folder, expand these other elements, highlight these letters, drop it to the timeline. Press P on your keyboard for the position and Shift S for the scale. I will go to effects and preset and add a fill on it, and I will change the color here to D8, 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 and I will click OK. Reposition these letters randomly. So it's up to you guys, where do you want to put it. This is just an example for our tutorial. Close all these elements and highlight it all, and I will right click my mouse, pre-compose it. I will name it letter elements 2. Move all the attributes into the new composition and I will click OK. Then open your project panel again. Go to your other elements and drop down this dust into the timeline. I will right away pre-compose it and I will name it dust. Move all the attributes in the new composition, click OK. I will open this dust composition, press S on my keyboard for the scale, scale it up. Go back to the scene 2 folder, then go to effects and preset, go to generate, fill. Change the color here to white. Press my keyboard T for the opacity and I will change the opacity here to only 20%. Then I will go to layer, create a new camera. I'm using 50mm preset camera, click OK. Enable the 3D layers in here. Then I will go back to layer, add a null object. I will make sure that this null object is a 3D layer and parent the camera on that null object. Press P and Shift R for the rotation. Then make sure that your playhead is at the beginning. Change the Z position to 57, 57. And then create a keyframe here. Also the Z rotation, just change this value to 13. Disable the 3D layer on this background. And then go to 1 second, change the value here to 0. There you go, and then move your playhead again to 2 seconds and change the rotation here to 0. Now highlight all these keyframes, press F9 to ease it, then go to your graph editor and move the handles here on this side, just like this. Because we don't want this halo looking gradient, I will just go back to my background, change this end of ramp, increase the amount. Go back again to the scene 1 and check this background, let's see. Yeah, all we have to do is to again go to end of ramp, increase the amount, and go open the scene 2 again. Add a brush on it, open the project panel, drag down this brush 04 into the timeline. Right away I will pre-compose it. I will name it brush underscore 04. Move all the attributes into the new composition, click OK. Go to effects and preset, add fill on it. I will just change this color to D8, D8, D8. And then I will click OK. Press P on my keyboard for the position, Shift R for the rotation. I will just move it down. And then rotate it a bit. Make this 2 views horizontal. Make this a 3D layer. Move this farther from the camera. So now I will go to my composition and create a new composition. I will name it main. 3840 by 2160, 30 frames per second, and the duration here I will change this to 10. Then click OK. I will go to my project panel, change this to one view horizontal. First I will just make these compositions, drag it into my scene 2 folder. Open the scene 1, drag the scene 1 into your timeline and also the scene 2. Then move your playhead to about 5 seconds duration. Click open bracket key to move that layer. Close these ones. Open the assets folder, go to footage. I will drop down this light click and this particle into the timeline. So I will pre-compose this particle and I will just name it particle. And move all the attributes into the new composition. Click OK. Leak, I will pre-compose this one and I will name it leak. Move all the attributes into the new composition and click OK. I will go back to the particles, press T on my keyboard for the opacity. I will change the opacity here to 30%. I will again highlight both of these compositions and I will change the blending mode to screen. Go back to scene 2 and turn on the motion blur on media 2. So it seems that we don't have any dust in here, so all I have to do is to go back to the scene 1 folder and add a dust in here. Duplicate the dust on the scene 2 folder and drop it down to the scene 1. So now we have here, make this a 3D layer, go to effects and preset, go to generate and add fill. I want to change this to only white and press T on my keyboard for the opacity. I will change the opacity here to 20%. Go to composition, create a new composition. This time we will name it final. 3840 by 2160, which is 4K and 30 frames per second, and the duration is 10 seconds. Click OK and go to your project panel and drop the main into the timeline. You can also change the color of your text, so open scene 1 folder and highlight this text. Go to effects and preset, fill. Change this color to maybe 45. Click OK. Go to the project panel, open the scene 2 folder and open this scene 2. Highlight this text, make this view just one view horizontal. Move your playhead to see the text here and change the color just by adding a fill on it and change this color to 45. Then go back to the final. Let's see what happens. Nice. So this is it guys, our tutorial is done and I hope that you enjoy the video. And for those people who subscribe my channel, thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. And for those who are not yet, don't forget to subscribe, press like, comment, and press the notification bell so you will not miss if I have video uploads in the coming days, okay? So my thoughts for today guys, that always be consistent with your hard work, okay? So thank you guys for watching and I will see you on my next tutorial. Bye guys. God bless.